everybody? Welcome into our pregame live episode of Speedway Soccer, brought to you by Broadway Sports Media. I am Davey Shepard. I'm here at Nissan Stadium in the phone pool, joining you for a few minutes before we get to the game tonight. And I'm here with the regular crew. We don't have Ben Wright tonight, so if you have any real questions, I would advise you just saving those or holding them off on Twitter for Ben at some other point in time. No, I'm only kidding. I've got Andy and Slade here. They can answer your questions. But we have a important development, the return of NCAA Mookie. John Sloop is back in the house tonight. Sloop, it's good to have you back, my friend.
Oh, it's great to be here. I'm gonna go ahead and say the one old man thing. I'm gonna say that was pretty badass listening to that intro music.
You feel like you're about to go give a TED talk or something.
No
right?
kidding. That was great.
Yeah, I liked it.
We are giving a TED talk.
We're also joined tonight by Andy Simmons. Andy, how's it going, buddy?
Well, it's all good, Davey. I'm just having a party over here.
Love it. And then filling out the crew tonight, we've got Jonathan Slape. Slape, how is it tonight, man?
Good, man. Good. Looking forward to the game tonight.
Yeah, me too. Well, look, let's get right into the starting lineup. Probably the biggest development we see so far. No Hani Mukhtar in the 18. We haven't heard anything. He wasn't on the injury report, so we'll keep an eye on that. We'll ask Gary about it later. And, I think kind of like we heard after the last game, what they are willing to say about Hani may give us a hint as to if it is COVID-19 related or if it's just another nut. Slate, any other things you see in the lineup? It looks like a 4-3-3 again, right? With Moyle just replacing Hani out wide?
Yeah, that could be that 4-3-3, kind of 4-3-2-1, that Christmas tree looking formation that we saw against New England. I think one of the things that I'm looking at is, the ability to change the game off the bench. We're going to have Abu Danladi available, so it'll be good to see him. I'm just guessing he wasn't 100% fit to be able to come in and start, but having Dunladi and having his speed off the bench, and also the speed of Washington and Wynn. So looking to see what we can do off the bench in this game, but also interested in, coping with what Minnesota has out.
I was curious about Ani Baba and him getting back into the lineup, but it sounds like that, it's one of those things where you don't want to rush a guy as soon as he's coming back from injury as well, too, because you figure that Dunladi, it's one of those things where you don't want to rush him back too quickly from injury and, risk the guy, picking up a knock, as soon as he gets back to the lineup, despite the limited attacking options that Nashville has in front of them. Jones' role last time as the kind of the hold-up guy, he did okay. He was dribbling fairly well. I just think the thing I worry about is his distribution up top, up there, to really get to the guys out wide. I am happy to see Anunga get another start. I thought he was solid last match, as well as LaGrassa too. I thought LaGrassa was very, very fantastic in kind of controlling the midfield at his own pace and just, distributing to everyone else. It's nice to see Moyle back up there again as well too. He should provide some motor. He's rarely put in a tough performance, but I'm curious to see him back into the lineup and what he can contribute.
Sloop, I got a question. I want to start this one with you, and then guys, feel free to chime in. So Montlagrosse is in the lineup for the second time in a row. I think probably to a man, everybody from Speedway. He was the one guy or one of the guys who we were like, man, I don't know if this guy's going to get the call up or not. With the way LaGrassa played against, I'm blanking on the team, against New England just a few days ago, how crazy do you think that is, that this guy who, nobody really expected to – a lot of people were, hey, I don't know if he's going to come up. Now the guy's in, he's getting starts, and he was one of the better performers in a yellow shirt. How crazy do you think that is just for the fan base at home to see a guy like that who was a fan favorite at the USL level playing so well?
Yeah, I don't know about if everyone, and you might have a better sense of that. I think it's crazy amongst us in our discussions because the two people I was sort of surprised I didn't see coming up were him or Washington. And, Washington's speed just keeps astounding me. But, I'm very impressed. I'm the first to admit I'm wrong, and I'm wrong a lot. I think I'm wrong about LaGrassa. He's been fun.
Yeah, and I'll follow up on that. I think we've seen a couple times, and we saw looking at what Cincinnati did, and that's always going to be a comparison of Cincinnati brought in a ton of USL guys. I think they brought in maybe 2 or 3 more. And we really didn't see any of them make an impact at the MLS level, including guys like Manu, who had over 15 goals, 15 assists for Cincinnati. He came over and just was, and Ledesma was not able to make an impact. But to see, I would say we've seen every single one of the USL guys other than Ken Tribbett. And I would say that none of them look out of place at the MLS level. Definitely they've all had performances where they've impressed. There's nothing that you would be able to say I don't think that guy is good enough to be in this team.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think that they've all to a man just performed well. And like I said on the last live show, I've been super intentional about mentioning when they do get the minutes. And, you can't shy away from the fact that they're getting the minutes and they're kind of, like Sloop said, making us look wrong, which is good to see. I love to see people bet on themselves and perform well. And so it's awesome to see. Listen, we got a few questions. First on Twitter, Ben, more Arsenal talk, please. We're going to get there, I'm sure.
Yes.
Gunnosaurus, the debate of our times.
Gunnosaurus died, so Gunnosaurus could live.
John Mueller, wow, it looks like Ben spent so much time with numbers that he became them. There you go, Ben, getting shout-outs even when you're not on the episode. Sloop, you got a question?
I've got a couple of questions. First off, do we have any sense yet on how many people are at the game tonight? Did they stop?
Look, the last time I looked out the window, my window's kind of right that way. There wasn't many. I would say probably less than 500. That was 20 minutes ago, though. So maybe it's starting to fill in now. I came in an hour before the match, so hopefully there'll be more here soon.
Question number 2. This is for Andy and Slate. I could answer this question myself, but why are you guys not at the game?
I chose to defer my tickets. It was one of those things that looking at the game and looking at not knowing what the situation would be, but also the environment, while it will be good to have fans there, was not something that I was really wanting to be a part of. And then just the fact that it just wasn't going to be the same. All of us sit in the same section and have some other friends that are also near where we're at in 137, and it was just not going to be the
proximity to Nacho line.
Yeah, it was just not going to be the same experience, and so I chose just to, defer for a year.
I also deferred for a year, but Slate
Luke, did you defer our tickets?
Yeah, I would defer our tickets. If I couldn't sit next to you, I wasn't going to go. But Mike, I was wondering, are they selling the tickets to individual tickets? Like, could we, after we deferred our season tickets, can we buy a ticket on our?
Yeah, you could buy tickets tonight, but you had to buy at least 2. You weren't able to just buy a single ticket.
Yep.
All right, guys, question coming in from Josh Young, host of Paradise Pod, who I did co-host with this weekend on Paradise Pod.
We've heard over and over about this.
Good time with the boys. Had fun there. He's going to ask a few questions. I've been curious, with Cadiz over the line, who do you think is the next position of the club tries to strengthen with a new signing? What do you think is the next position that they try to strengthen with a new signing?
Right back.
Also, more related to tonight, who's the most likely NSC goal scorer? Could see Dunladi bagging one. I think all of us are high on Dunladi's chances tonight. It's going to be nice to see a pure forward come off the bench. And to me, it just adds a little bit of touch. What I would expect to see later in the game, LaGrassa pulled off, Jones slide back to the 10, then Dunladi up top, and that's going to be a pretty good lineup moving forward. So I'm excited to see that later on. Guys, I'll let you kind of field the one about what position we try to strengthen next.
Yeah, I would say I think right wing or one of the wing positions is probably where we look to see Nashville strengthen. David Akam, shout out to Akam. I know all the guys on Paradise are big high on Akam, but with him continuing to be injured, I just think that's a natural spot for them to look to strengthen. And I think midfield too. Godoy and Dax have been fantastic, but you have it's thin there. That's not a slight on Anunga or LaGrassa, but having two basically best 11 guys as your two midfielders, anybody's going to be a step down there.
I would say right back, and this is not a knock on Alistair Johnson as well too, because I think he's been playing great, but like Slate pointed out, if someone gets hurt at that position, it's a very thin position, and you kind of have to do some makeshifting with the right back. So I think that the club should go after potentially a right back, maybe not to take Alistair's spot, but as a depth player.
Who is David Accam? Never heard of him. That's from Donald Hall. As long as it's been since he's been in the lineup, I don't know if any of us feel like we've heard of him.
Does Gary know who David Accam is?
SRV2 Sport Live 7. I think we are getting spammed in the comments. That's probably all the spots that my mother-in-law paid for, so that it looks like we've got viewers on the live stream. So just disregard that if you can see that out in public. So
that's on Facebook, by the way.
Anybody else see another another goal scorer other than Dunladi tonight? I think there's an opportunity there for him to score. Anybody in the starting lineup you guys think have a goal in him?
I mean, I think Leal always has a goal with him. He's never going to turn down a shot. So it'll be interesting to see, what he does tonight. So, I mean, I think he definitely has a goal in him. Wouldn't be surprised to see Derek Jones get one tonight either.
Yeah, I was going to say,
I would love to see that.
I think Leal definitely has a goal. I think he's hungry to get one as well, too. And I think Gary's kind of whispered into his ear, you're the focal point of this attack right now. Derek Jones may be the guy that's the holdup, but he's going to want to get Leal involved a ton. And I could see probably Leal trying to crank like 4 or 5 shots tonight.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Ben chimes in. How does the game plan change if Nashville go down earlier? Even when he's not on the episode, he's trying to run.
Yeah, I know, but he has an answer to this in his own mind.
I know. So Ben, respond with a tweet when you get there. But so, in my opinion, it's the same thing that we've seen out of Gary for going on 3 years now. Is if we go down a goal early, it's more of the same thing, right? And especially in the opportunity where the starting lineup is not what we would like it to be. It's going to be tough to get that goal back, and I think you would maybe see Dunladi come on earlier. I don't know what that number is. It's clearly they don't think he can go 60 minutes or he would have started. So Is the number 30? Is it potentially 45? I don't know. I don't see the guy coming on after the half. I think you get him on the field as early as you can. To me, Jones in the middle can do the same thing LaGrassa does. You pull off LaGrassa. That's about as good going forward as you could be. The only question is would it better to be pull off Anunga and then pull Jones even further back into the 8, leave LaGrassa at the 10, and just be a little bit more offensive that way? What do you guys think?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that Dunladi coming on. I mean, I think we'll see him for 30 minutes. I don't think we'll see him for any more than that. I do think Anunga if you keep Anunga on, you can push Dax up a little bit further because Anunga does sit more like a like number 6, so he sits a little deeper, which will allow Dax to get further up. It's just a situation of who do you want at the 10, who do you want further up the field? I think that McCarty provides a little bit of that veteran presence that I think we need in the midfield. So that's kind of how I would go.
Andy, what are your thoughts?
I want to ask Slate a question in a second, but Andy, go ahead and answer this.
No, I was going to say, I think that if Nashville goes down early, I think that dropping Jones back, potentially bringing on like a win, Dunladi as well too, and really just trying to emphasize your attacking presence would probably be the move that Gary goes for. How that formation would look, really, that remains to be seen. But I imagine that he would definitely try to, bolster the attack as much as possible with the limited options that he has. He has some options, but not as many at his disposal, like the artist formerly known as David Accam.
So, Slate, and I don't think I'll offend anybody saying this, but I think you've been a better student of MLS than most of us for years. So looking at the Minnesota lineup against ours, do you see any mismatches that we could take advantage of tonight?
I think the Minnesota team this year is much different from the Minnesota team of last year because you have Iko Para has been out for the entire season, and Ozzy Alonso is also out injured. So I think the defense, while last year they were the best defense in the league, right now they've given up 26 goals, so they're giving almost 2 goals a game. So I mean that's definitely a position where Nashville can get at them. Chase Gasper's out. Suspended on a yellow card, so right there at the left back, and then with Gregus being out on international duty in the midfield, definitely those are some mismatches there. Probably the thing that I would be most nervous about is looking at the fact that Kai Kamara is not starting, but Kai Kamara off the bench is definitely a scary prospect because that guy knows how to score goals. And he has some speed. So, I mean, Nashville have to keep an eye there. And then Kevin Molino returning, starting after being injured. Definitely, there are some mismatches, especially on the back line, but Minnesota does have some firepower there as well.
Yeah, let's kind of keep down the same train of thought here. What is a good result tonight, Slave? Obviously, they're above us in the table. I think they're sitting on 23 points. Yeah, 22 points, which is good enough for fourth in the West. And Nashville's currently on 17th, which is good enough for 10th in the East. But we have a game in hand on pretty much everyone above us. Is tonight one where a goal at home, a draw at home does the job?
I mean, for me, I think a draw at home does the job, especially with the continued injuries that this team has. I mean, I don't think how you can turn down a point against the fourth place team in the West and one of the best teams in the West over the past 2 years. So the question for tonight is going to be not going to be can they keep. I think they can keep this team out of the back of the net. It's just going to be a matter of can they score goals tonight.
I think a draw is a fair result. And that's only because Nashville's attacking options are, fairly limited right now. That's not a knock against them, but I think that, Minnesota's a very, very dangerous team. We saw at the beginning of the year that they were putting goals past people left and right, and we were really raising our eyebrows at them. Since the break, though, they've still been strong, and I think that if Gary and his side are able to limit this Minnesota attack, then I think it's a win in their books to get another draw against a really strong side.
All right, guys, we got just a few minutes left. I'm going to ask you kind of what your prediction is for tonight. One last question. Muller, what are the chances minimal fans can rile Zendejas up again? That was just one of those classic USL moments. So let's hope they can pull it off. I'm with them 100% there. Okay, tonight, I just said is a draw good enough? I think we all agree that we think a draw is good enough. Who here is willing to say you think we can get a result or even better than a draw? Anybody? Anybody got a win on the books?
I mean, I predicted a win in my preview today, so I can't not go with that. I had a 1-0 win, so I'm going to stick with that.
I said
Shock 1-0 win.
I said 1-0 win to Minnesota United in the preview as well, too. I think Nashville will be very strong and hold them off until very late into the match, until Minnesota bags one late and they come away with 3 points.
Let me clarify a point. When you guys predicted a win earlier, you were assuming Mukhtar was in the lineup, correct?
Yes, I was.
I assumed a 1-1 with Mukhtar scoring the goal. I mean, but I always every week say Mukhtar's going to score. So that's no different.
You may be the jinx that is stopping Hany from scoring.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. I don't like the fact that I'm hoping for a draw, but I'm hoping for a draw. I'm predicting it and hoping for it.
Yeah, I took 1-1 draw on the table. I kind of agree with Slate. Even a clean sheet would not surprise me tonight. To me, just the question is, are we going to be able to do enough going forward? And the hope is obviously that we keep the game level. I think Lacrosse and Jones both performed well in their positions last time, but we're limited with Derek Jones up top. There's no way around that. And so I think if you can keep it 0-0 moving forward, bring on Dinladi, the game's going to be all at stake there. So let's hope that we can see the team kind of move forward in that direction. For game time tonight, we won't be live tweeting from the Speedway Soccer Twitter. We'll be doing it just from our individual pages. So you kind of see those Twitters down there as well. Obviously, Ben Wright, Big Daddy, he's not on tonight, but you know what his Twitter is. Just check our personals. That's where we'll have it. And then I'm sure Speedway will retweet a few things here and there as well. So listen, as always, we're thrilled that you guys chimed in tonight with some questions and that you participated with us. It makes this fun. But we got a game starting here in about 10 minutes, so we're going to hop off. Sloop, Slape, Andy, Ben, who is not here, we appreciate you greatly. Thanks for being on, and it'll be fun. We'll do it again next week. Have fun watching the game, and we'll talk soon. This is Speedway Soccer brought to you by Broadway Sports Media.